Hello, so I'll be presenting the program called Wallpaper Design. This program, what it does is it lets you create an shape between an ellipse and a rectangle. Then what you can do is fill it up with different kind of brush and then generate a tile pattern with that specific shape or shapes that have been created in the canvas. So for example, I can choose here an ellipse. I can create an ellipse and I can start by filling it up with a solid color. In this case, just plain orange. That's the most simple brush. Now for more interesting brush, we have the texture brush. This brush will allow us to fill the shape with a specific image that we have in our computers. The way this image will be shown is depending on the wrap mode. So for example, if I just choose tile, what it will do is it will repeat the same image different times inside of the ellipse that I have just selected. So after selecting the image, as you can see, the eraser, which is the image that I chose, is multiple times as a tile in the inside of the ellipse. Now, if I create a different ellipse or a different shape, now I will try a different kind of wrap mode. For example, the XY flip. Now, I will not only see the eraser, but I will see the eraser flipped in both axes, X and Y, to generate a new kind of pattern, a new kind of fill to the shape. And that's just one of the two different ways to do this. Another interesting brush is the hatch brush. What this brush does is that we have different hatch styles, which are pretty much patterns on how we can intercalate two different colors, the foreground and the background. These are colors that we select. So for example, for the horizontal hatch style, we can choose orange and green, for example. And as you can see, we have horizontal lines for this specific pattern. You can see that the one type of line is the orange one, which is the one that's not very wide, and then we have the green color as well. This pattern is determined by the hatch brush. We have different kind of hatch brushes. So for example, we can choose a large grid now. We select two different colors, and now we can see a grid as a pattern that fills our shape. Excellent. So now I'll go and look at a different shape, for example, just to vary, but every brush should be able to work with any shape. Now let's look at the linear gradient brush. This brush is interesting because what it does is you first have to create a rectangle. This is an abstract rectangle. We don't really see it. What we see is the pattern that it generates. So, which is a width and height for this rectangle. And we have a starting and ending color. The starting color starts at the top left corner, and then the ending color starts in the right bottom corner. So we have two different colors, and as they merge, depending on the gradient mode, they start interpolating, they start blending. So we can choose, in order to see this gradient change or blending even better, the gradient rectangle has to be wide and high. So I'll choose a starting color that I want to blend, for example, pink, and I'll choose another one, for example, green. And now I have to I have to do the gradient mode. What this is um, here you can select the orientation and how you want both colors to be blended: horizontal, vertical, forward diagonal, or backward diagonal. So in this case, I'll choose backward diagonal. And as you can see, the colors are blending in a diagonal. If I choose a different color or gradient mode, you can see how that blending, how the orientation of the blending changes. So now I'll choose a different kind of color, for example, orange and purple, and we can do horizontal. And now we can see how the different gradients are combined in a horizontal way. And yeah, that's it. Now we can, after we generate the shape that we want in the fill brush that we prefer, we can do a preview. What it does is basically generates a set of tiles um, of the same shape that we have generated in the canvas. And that's it. Thank you.